Broken screens and flashing lights, voices shouting through the night. Static hum that shakes the ground, Rift Nation rising loud, profound. Feel the fire, feel the fight, we're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage, unleash the fury, turn the page. Steel strings scream the truth we bring, echoed chaos, hearts that sting, electric veins that feed the roar, harder, faster, crave for more. Dust and sparks ignite the air, shattered silence, do we dare? Tidal force, relentless stream, we're the edge, we're the dream. Feel the fire, feel the fight, we're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage, unleash the fury, turn the page. Rift Nation, hold the line. In the chaos, we align. Through the storm, through the pain, we're the anthem in your veins. Feel the fire, feel the fight, we're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage, unleash the fury, turn the page. Rift Nation, hold the line. In the chaos, we align. Through the storm, through the pain, we're the anthem in your veins.
For launch, GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
Go pending final steps to cabin link check. Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Rift Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Hello, Riff Nation Network. Happy Wednesday. How are you? I'm your host, Joni Skinner. We are streaming live tonight on the Riff Nation Network, Mysteries Beyond the Scenes, where we combine astrology, true crime, and we try to solve mysteries, missing person cases, cold cases by using our astrology. I'm a forensic astrologer, and we are live every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m., streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. How are you, Rift Nation Network? Let's go to the chat. How are y'all on this lovely Wednesday evening? It's 75 degrees here. The birds are chirping, not a cloud in the sky, but our friends out west are having a lot of tornadoes, so please stay safe out there. It seems like tornado season this year has gone north, like up to Michigan, up to Wisconsin, Minnesota. Friends, we know what you're going through, so please stay safe. Keep weather alert. It's tornado season, so be careful tonight. Be careful all weekend. I hope y'all are doing well, friends. How are you, chat? I think that's all I've got to say for this Wednesday. We'll get to the announcements, but I think that's about all I have to say. I said we're streaming live, Rift Nation Network. Oh, please share and hit that like button for us. We appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, Miss Tammy. Just found my phone misplaced for 3 hours. Tammy, get on your laptop and have one of us call you. I always have to have people call me. I hate when that happens. You know what? We should get Find Your Phone or get one of those iTags or something, girl. I don't know how to work them, but I think they work. I'm glad you found it. Usually I find mine, like I'll look all over the place and I have a hoodie on and it's in my pocket of my hoodie. Oops. Hello, Miss Lee. How are you? I know, Tammy, next time get on Messenger and say, hey, anybody out there, please call me. I can't find my phone. I get you, girl. I get you. I get you. How are you, Sir Keith? Thank you so much for sharing us out. You know, and with that, the key fob thing, my car this year, I have the key that you don't put in the ignition. You just push the button. And I'm a chronic lock my keys in the car person. I'm very good at locking my keys in the car. I'm an expert. I'm really good at it. But with this little fob thing, I don't do that anymore because when I shut the door, it makes a certain noise that my keys are in the car. So I like technology. It's smarter. So I hurry up and I know the keys are in the car somewhere, but my spare key is in my purse. So I'm the queen of keys. Phones too. Hi Lee. Nope, didn't get out there pouring the last 3 days. Well, that's good that y'all need the rain. I hope y'all are getting rain. I know our friends down in Georgia are in a drought. They've got some fires, so be safe down in Georgia too, friends. Hello, Miss Linda. How are you, hon? I hope you're doing well. Texas, it's raining. That's a good thing, though, isn't it? Hi, Miss Kathy. How are you? Hope you're feeling well. I hope you're doing well with surgery, Kath. Hope you're on the mend. Hello, Miss Lois. I hope you're doing well too. I'm doing great, Lee. How are you all? How are you Hey, before we get started tonight, y'all, how is everybody getting through the Aries apocalypse, which is all this Aries energy concentrated this year more than, well, at 7 planets in Aries is it's a tad a little bit of energy, but we're getting through it. I think it's good for everybody. It gets you motivated, it gets you up, it gets you getting out of a rut. I hope everybody's making it through the Aries apocalypse. I'm good and happy. I can see some. Good. Hello, Miss Carrie Lynn, Spirit Switchboard. How are you, my dear? How are you making it, Carrie Lynn, through the Aries apocalypse? It's, Libras. My Libra friends out there, we've only got 1 week left because all this Aries energy is opposing all the Libra stuff in your chart. Libra, you're almost there. We have one huge shift this week. Uranus, the planet of the unexpected, can be chaos, Mr. Lightning Rod, shifts into Gemini for a 7.5 stretch, 7.5 year stretch. So Libras, Aquarius, this will be trining you. Gemini, you're going to get lit up. I mean, in a good way. Lots of changes this year, friends. Lots. I like the word. I learned a new word for 2026. Besides calling it WTF, that's what I nicknamed 2026 because I said everybody's going to be saying WTF. Unprecedented. I forget what astrologer said that. Unprecedented astrology for 2026. True. Hello, Miss Renee. Thank you so much for sharing us out. Miss Tammy, no, I have Google Home and it can call it, but I had it on Bluetooth earpiece so it won't ring. Oh, gosh, that's just Google. That's so much. That's complicated. God love you. I'm glad you found it, hon. Lee, good. Spending time on Google Earth looking for bodies. Good. Putting your, that's good. It's putting your time to good use. Thank you, Miss Linda, for sharing us. How's everybody getting through the Aries? Have you guys noticed a change in the energy? Have you noticed it? Just curious. Hello, Miss Cindy. How are you? Cindy has her show on Riff Nation Network on Monday nights. Cindy, speaking of energy, does the energy bowls and the sound therapy. And if the energy's getting a little out of control, the sound energy is so calming. So check her show out Mondays at 9 p.m. on the Rift Nation Network. Hello, Miss Peggy. How's New Orleans doing? How are you? This Aries moon is calm and smooth. The moon is in Cancer today. Actually, it's in Cancer. You mean Aries? The Aries, it's in Cancer today, but that's that's what's calm and smooth. Is the Cancer moon would be is very Cancer loves the moon. The moon loves to be in Cancer. It's the sign, it's Cancer's ruling planet. So if you're a Cancer, sun or rising sign of Cancer, your intuition is on peak notice. Now, it might have shifted into Leo by now. I'm not sure. But as of this morning, it was in Cancer. So our Cancer signs are very intuitive right now. Whenever the moon is in Cancer, that's when anybody that's a rising Cancer or a Cancer sun, Cancer moon actually too, really work, do if you're going to do any type of meditations, spirit stuff, any type of talking to ancestors or divination, or it's perfect. It's just perfect to work on clairvoyance and everything. That's when you're at your peak. The peak. Hello, friend. How are you? We haven't seen you forever and ever. How are you, dear? How things going? How are you handling all this Aries energy, Miss Rowe? Doing good over here. That's wonderful. Yes. All good here. Lots of new opportunities opened up for me. Well, this is why, Miss Leo, Leo and Aquarius, all of this Aries creator energy is trining, which a trine is, it looks like a triangle, and it's very favorable. So all the past 2-3 weeks, all this Aries energy has been trining Leo and Aquarius. Right? Am I right? No, my bad. Leo and Sagittarius, the fire signs. So, tons of opportunities opening up. You know what, too? Come to think of it, speaking Leos, wait until June, July. Guess who moves into your sign? The planet of abundance and growth and opportunities, Jupiter. You'll have a whole year. Kick it. Leo's going to be kicking rear for the next year. Aquarius and, gosh, I forget who. Is it Gemini? Yeah, Aquarius and Gemini are getting sextiled with all this Aries energy. I try to think of that off the top of my head, and I get confused. In Messenger jail and Facebook dating jail, phone acting stupid, feels, wow. Oh, are you talking? There's a, that Messenger jail thing was going around for a while. It's like a big scam. Have y'all seen that on Facebook where it says that you've been booted and you're in trouble and all this? Just reboot your computer. I rebooted. A lot of people are getting weird stuff. It's just weird. Well, Uranus is moving. Uranus is internet, trying to make his voice heard. Throwing lightning bolts at us. Just tired a lot. Yeah, fatigue is, well, it's square in Cancer. That Aries energy is square in Cancers and Capricorns. So fatigue would do it. We're coming out of it. We've only got another week. One more week of it. One more week. Shit. Libra, poor Libras. I know Cindy and I are getting just whacked. I think Cindy and I have laughed each other through this. like with our allergies. And actually, I went to the doctor today. I told my doctor, I said, and she's talking about Aries. Tell me about I heard about creator energy and all this Aries. What does it mean? And I said, well, you do know what Aries rules, don't you? And she's like, no. And I'm like, sinuses. And she's like, are you kidding me? People are driving us nuts with this. I said, well, sinus issues will be gone in about a week. I'm telling you. Does that mean people are going to be talking too much, going into too much detail? For a while, they can, yeah. Definitely, the energy will speed up in how we communicate. Uranus is the media. It's the upper octave of Mercury. So we're going into air, from earth to air. So ebbs, another speed, another boot, y'all. It's another boot of energy. It's another boost. UFOs too. UFOs. Sending you love, Lois. Lois is in messenger jail. We got to bail her out. We're going to bail you out of dating and messenger jail. Maybe that's the universe telling you, watch the dating thing. Maybe that's it. I love when Cindy does hers. I do too. I do too. It's relaxing. Keith is faring fairly well. That's wonderful, y'all. I'm glad we're all making it. We're making it. Lois needs to play her bowls. Cindy feels Cindy feels way better for me so far. Last week, not so much. Oh gosh, Cindy and I were dying last week. But it was funny because I was on her show and we just were laughing about it. We're just like, what can you do? She was getting a triple opposition. She was getting bee slapped. Our poor noses. We were trying to do the show and we were sniffling so bad. Cancer rising here. Yeah. Kick that sun. I mean, kick that moon in, Cancer. So you're getting really good energy from all that Aries, Lois. A lot of change here, Joni. Good. Is it? I hope it's positive, honey. I hope it's good, positive change for you. Text me tomorrow. I sent you one of the pics I found from Google Earth. Wild how the blue dots come up after clicking on little guy. Drop down on them. Oh, okay. My phone is being charged. So I haven't seen my phone for about 4 hours. Heaven help me, Gemini. Oh, 7.5 years, girl. You're going to have baby dolls. To share with Linda's has a Gemini friend, and they're geniuses when it comes to gadgets, and they make all kinds of really cool stuff. So Linda has really cool things to share. Geminis will tell you everything and how it works. I am in until Saturday. Well, everybody, we made it. We made it through the apocalypse. So we got 3 days. Uranus kicks into Gemini. And that should be it for April for a while. May we slow down. June we coast. So take full advantage of resting in May and June. Seriously. Because July kicks in again. July and August kick in, and then the rest of the year we're done. Astrologically. So, well, I'm glad y'all are doing. Yeah, they are. They're the he's brilliant, but darn. They are the consummate student. They love to study. They're great writers. They love to study. They're good at it. I'm a Gemini, not true. We don't know everything. Well, a lot of Geminis do. I married two of them. I married Geminis and Aries. And then after I married two Geminis and two Aries, I said, I got to try another sign. I'm running out of signs in the zodiac to marry. Okay, fact. Okay, you guys, I'm sorry. We need to get to our case. Jeez, I've been yapping for 20 minutes. I hope y'all are doing well. This is the show. Thank you for joining us. If you've never joined us before, please join in on our chat. We would love to hear from you. Don't be shy. Come on in and talk to us. We're a nice group. We look at missing persons case. I'm going to ask you all on this case. I should have brought her in tonight. I wonder if I should have. My mental health expert, who is actually licensed to, she is a clinician, or I don't know what it is. She sees patients. She's a therapist. I talked to her about this case today because I was stumped. And I will tell you our conversation. And I need to bring her on for my expert, my mental health expert, because she's a great therapist and young, and she's just wonderful. Vicky's just fabulous. She's been out of school for about a year and a half, and she's got her patient load, and boy, she's doing well. Very bright. But I asked her about this case because put your intuition hats on, if you don't mind, because this is a stumper here. And that's a little unusual. The astrology is a little weird. Ro, I'd like for your input too with the astrology and my other astrologers like Lois and Cindy and Linda, and you guys that also study forensic astrology, and you do know astrology. Please weigh in on this, because I'm stumped by this one. So let me get you a little background on this. I don't know if y'all have heard about this case. This is out in Oakland, California. And on May 25th, 2006, Amy Hillyard went missing. Now, Amy and her husband own coffee shops in the Oakland area, the Bay Area. And she is a pillar in her community. She is just, everyone loves Amy. And they have their businesses. She's 52 years old. She's got her, 18, 19-year-old children. Life is very good. Her father-in-law started the coffee businesses, the little shops, and they have grown and expanded, and everything is going well. So on the 20th, she was having a few issues, like some people do. She was having issues with anxiety, seeing a therapist, on her medication, doing exactly what we are to do when things are a little rough to handle. Her husband came out and made a statement that, she had been under some stress as a caregiver for a loved one. And, if any of you have ever been a caregiver for a loved one, you realize the stress that is very tough. I did it with my mom, and it's tough. It's very hard to be a caregiver and work and run a business and have your family. And it's tough. So she had that. She had the death of a family pet, which is, we all know that how that is. That's a family member. It's the death of a family member when we lose one of our animals. I shouldn't even say animal. It's the death of a family member. And she also was going through the death of a very close family friend. So she had some stressors going on, going through therapy. She had gone to he had dropped her off for her therapy appointment at 1:45 in the afternoon. She texted him. She was home. She was taking the dog out for a walk. She had just gotten done with her therapy appointment, right? So, oh crap. I'll get back to this. I was going to update you on Miss Guthrie. Oh God, I forgot about Miss Guthrie. Okay, I'll update when we get done with Amy's case. Oh gosh, look at all that. Okay, here we go. We're in Oakland. I'll come back to all that. So here's Amy again. Here's her missing person case, 500 block of Radnor Road, which is where she lived. She was out walking the dog last seen. So he came home. Here we go. There she is with her husband. Beautiful woman. So her neighbor talked to her, walking the dog. He got home about 3:15 and noticed the dog was not in his crate. The back door was open. Her keys were there. Phone was there, and she was gone. So he called the police, looked around for her for a while, and then called the police. So people within the area searched their Ring cameras and cameras around their homes, and someone called the police. They had spotted her near a park where she walks, and it's a couple of miles from her home. It is the park that she would go to clear her head. Okay, so think about it. If you want to clear your head, you don't take your phone. You don't want to be around your phone. You got to clear your head. I get it. No one has seen her since. There's another picture of Amy. So the police stated that there is a video footage of her at Diamond Park later that same day around 4:30. She was alone and was wearing a white short sleeve top, light colored jeans, and white sneakers. That's the last time anyone has seen her, and we're going on a month. So this is a kind of a picture of the park, Diamond Park. It's a beautiful place, and here are some of the trails. Now, it's fairly big of a park. Yes. Okay, so there we go. Here's the picture of the trails and the park. And here's the entrance. There's a pool. There's trails. Okay, that's the park. Now, did anybody see her at the park? That's not been reported. Her husband has been very vocal. He's been very nice. They are devastated. Where is she? Where is she? So I talked to Vicky today, and I said, what do you think about this? And she said, well, where you go, if somebody was going to unalive themselves, of course, that's my first thought. She said, you wouldn't go to the place where you frequent all the time. Just wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do that. You're going there to clear your head. That's where she would go to clear her head. So my first guess would be abduction. Abduction. And I said, well, what if she just wanted to get away and get on a plane? Well, you can't get on a plane without your ID, but just go to a friend's or get away for a while. Okay, I get that for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, but you wouldn't do it for a month. You're a caretaker. So I'm stumped on this one, y'all. I'm very stumped. They have brought out the drones. Miss Tammy, they've brought out the dogs. They have brought out everything to search. The community has done searches at this park. They cannot find anything. So it's a stump. I'm stumped with this. Let me get this really big and take a look at this event chart. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead of this. This is the chart when she texted her husband. Let's look at that one up first. That one gives, okay, so this is, I am not going to, I just pointed out if there is a perp, but I don't think there's a perp. But I don't know. Who knows? neither chart shows, the crime charts where we look at them and you can pretty well spot a perp and this happened and this happened. I don't know. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. Let me read to you about the chart. And if any astrologers, please weigh in on this one. Please weigh in. So we look at Amy, and it's a Cancer rising because the person or victim or who's missing is the rising. It's the rising sign. Who is the ruling planet? What's the ruling body of Cancer? It is the moon. So the moon is right there when she walked into the home. You know what I thought was funny? No planets are in the 4th house, which is the home. Look at that. They're all up in the 10th house. I found that to be interesting. Okay. So I looked to who was the moon talking to on that day? Let's dig in a little deeper. What planet was the moon talking to? The moon was squaring Neptune. That's a clue. Okay? That's mental health. It's also cameras. So we know that she was having some mental health issues. So the moon was squaring that. That would tell me a confused state of mind. That could be the anxiety. In the 10th house, what is the 10th house rule? That's career. It's also public, what the public sees, law enforcement, how the case is being handled. So I thought, well, that's odd. I'm going to keep digging. The moon, which is Amy, is also opposing Pluto in the 8th house. The 8th house is transformation. Pluto is not, it's a malefic. It's not a good thing. So Pluto can mean power struggles. It can mean in the 8th house, it's not positive. Okay, let's dig in a little bit more. What if I'm going to look up in the book, in Kirsty's book, and just go from there, because by now I'm just confused, right? We know she was talking to her husband at that time. So I looked at Mercury in the 9th house. There's the phone call. There's the text message. Okay. So when we look up in Kirsty's book, the 1st house, the moon, okay, in the 1st house, it's emotional tone. Could be at urgency level. So that perked me up a little bit more. So mentally, something is going on. Squares, and I looked this up in her book as well. Squares mean it brings a situation sometimes to a breaking point. Tension. So we know the moon was squaring Neptune. She texted her husband, went out to clear her head. What happened, right? Moon to Neptune, when a person becomes unreachable. So we see at 140, according to this chart, and according to me looking up everything, she right there, something had either occurred or whatever was at that breaking point where I got to get out, I got to walk, I got to do something. Does her phone give us a clue? Did somebody call her? Was there a text message? Is there something that perhaps during this investigation we don't know something? However, the police are saying they don't believe there was foul play. How do they know that? I don't know. They know a lot more than we do. So the 8th house, as you all know, that's hidden truths. It can also mean death. It's transformation. It's opposing the moon. Things that are hidden. Things that are hidden. Something is being hidden in this case that we just don't know about. Okay, the ninth house. Y'all know that by now the ninth house is travel. It's the house of distance. It's longer distances. Okay. Mercury is in there. Mars is in there. Did she go away somewhere? Did somebody pick her up? We don't know. It's crazy. Now we're going to try to interpret the 10th house because, boy, that thing is packed. It's the visibility, it's the outcome, right? Public status, public involvement. Law enforcement is on top of this case. It's a highly visible. She was in highly visible locations. It's just, it's great. The sun puts this case out in the public. She's a public person, and which we know she is. She's a public person. She was admired publicly. That's where Venus is in there. The person is admired publicly, like she was. Neptune in the 10th shows confusion. Confusion around the disappearance. What is going on? So now remember, this is at 140. This is at 140. Okay, so look who's in the 11th house. Good old Uranus. Uranus is always our crapshoot. Sudden in the 11th house. Look online for information. Shocking info. Could be a scandal. Sudden disappearance. Now remember, the 11th house is friends. Look around friend circles. Could she be with a friend? Possibly. So that's at 140. Did she reach out to a friend? Okay, so there's a lot of questions on that chart. Lots of questions on the 140 chart. Okay, Linda says, I'm sensing overwhelm, maybe sudden. She could have been in a state, got confused, possibly reached out to the wrong person or people. Absolutely. Absolutely. For sure. You know, this is absolutely, Linda. That's yeah. Agree. So that's the 140. Let's take a look at, now look what happens at 4:30 when she was spotted on camera, right? At Diamond Park. Now her ruler, it goes into Virgo. So we look for Mercury because Mercury is the ruler. Mercury's in the 7th house. So if we don't have a perp, let's say we don't have a perp. If we do have a perp, and something happened at the park, that's in the 7th house, right? So did she come across a perp at the park in the 7th house? That would be Neptune, right? The perp would be the white arrows because Pisces is ruling. So if there is a perp, there's Neptune. It was at the park because she's right in front of the perp if there is one. If. And that's a big if. Okay. Usually if she were abducted or whatever, there would be something. Something. So that's in the 7th house. Okay. Let's see. What else can we see? Now, I don't like a packed 8th house. No forensic astrologer likes a packed 8th house. It's usually not good for, but yeah, we'll look at it a lot of different ways. Neptune would show unclear, confusion, and delusion, but would also show cameras. People need to check their cameras around that area, even if it takes volunteers and searchers going door to door in that park area. Knock on every single door to ask them to check their car cams, their cameras, because Neptune is showing up, which could be a camera video. Okay. Saturn in the 8th house means there's something hidden. So we've gotten 2 markers of something hidden that is not coming out on this case that possibly will, right? The sun can be an older man. It can be an older man. But now we've got Venus in the 8th, which is a woman. Venus, okay, let me ask you this. That could be mom and dad. Was she a caretaker for the elderly people? Okay, don't know. Chiron would be health. So it could be that. And it's squaring the moon again. Is that the situation? Now, what's very interesting is look at the green arrow up at the top, up in the 9th house, Uranus. That could mean by a highway, because remember that's highways. Could be electrical tower. Could be a tower. Could be by something high up. Electrical tower. It's at the MC. She's going to be found regardless because she's up at the midheaven. Could that be an accident? Absolutely, it could be an accident. It's with Pluto in the 6th house. Did she fall? Did something happen on the trails? Don't know. This is someone. Then we look at the 11th house with Jupiter. That could be by a school, by a church. So we're getting some markers here by a church, by a school, a place that she knew, someone she knew. You know, the 11th house is friends, groups, people. Could she be with a friend? Check all friends. I don't know. That's about all I could glean out of. So I thought, okay, let's map it. Try to get more out of this. Okay, Keith says, what planet would represent a basement? It could be Pluto. Is Pluto under the earth, or it could be Saturn. Saturn or Pluto could be a basement. So Pluto in the 6th, the 6th house is people we work with. It also means someone stalking, watching. Now, I'm not saying that happened. I'm just interpreting the chart. And Vicky made a good point today when she was talking, and she said, if you walk on trails, you should always, and she said, I always tell my clients, you always mix up where you walk. If you go to certain trails, never go to the same trails back to back to back. Mess up your, change your routine around. And I agree with that. And also, as many of these cases that we see people disappear on trails, try not to go alone. And I know that's hard to say right now, but we are seeing too many of these cases where women are just disappearing off of trails. And just be safe. Be safe. I get it. I get when people need to take walks and get out and clear their head and do the right thing. But trails are it's woodsy. It's be careful. And here is her sister and her family. They've all come out to the community. The community is devastated. They love her. So they're really trying everything they can do to find her. And okay, so here I mapped it from the area where her home is. And it's not giving us too many answers. Really, it might for people that know the area, into this area. There's 3 lines over there, And then I went over to the trails, right? So I was kind of trying to look for areas high up in the Piedmont Pines area. There's that highway. Do they have a friend there? Is somebody just taking care of her? it's just there's a lot of what ifs right now, with this one. I agree, Linda. It's good advice. Take a buddy. Y'all, we see this too much anymore. Very true. Never go to trails alone. We do. We see it too much. And even if somebody were to have an accident, let's face it, if somebody were to fall or slip, be mindful of that. Does anybody else have anything they want to add in on this? What their intuition? I mean, enjoying the show. I'll finish it in a while. Okay, Kathy. Rest up, hon. Get well. Thanks for tuning in. Does anybody have any? I'm stumped at this one. I think it's just kind of watch it and see how it plays out. I think there's some things that we're not hearing about. Doesn't anybody find it funny that no one is coming forward with any? She walked to this park, correct? Where's the footage of her walking to the park? We should have her walking every 5 seconds. As many cameras that are out there. Now, there is a website, bringamyhome.com. She's been under stress as a caregiver for loved ones, grieving the recent death of a close family friend and one of their dogs, and trying to manage depression and anxiety. That's tough. Police say there are no signs of foul play. She remains an at-risk missing person. Recent searches, April 18th and 19th, included trail walks, neighborhood with her husband and sister, speaking publicly and holding on to hope. Absolutely hold on to hope. Community appeal has helped in other cases, and stressing it respectively keeps the focus on hope and actionable steps. Absolutely keep it on hope. The police are asking anybody between Radnor Road and Diamond Park, please take a few minutes to go through your doorbell cameras, home security footages, businesses, any around March 25th between 2 and 6 p.m. Even a blurry figure in the background could help. And then, of course, there's the Oakland Police, 510-238-3641. And I think that's the best thing that people can do right now at this point is to, if you're canvassing around and you want to look around, go to all the businesses, pass out flyers, knock on doors, put her flyer in mailboxes. Ask people, put that note up from the police. Please check your Ring cameras. If you got a couple minutes on the weekend, go to the businesses that are on that path. That's why I think where they could get the most help is just to go and canvass and stick up and get involved with the bringamyhome.com, and they are getting people to go out maybe possibly this weekend again. It's a very sad case, and the whole family is devastated. They're loved in the community. Something is weird, whether she has gone off with friends or gone over, now this would indicate a friend too. The 11th house. Moon is co-ruler with a friend. So could be with a friend. You don't know. I don't like that 8th house pact, but hey, I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong. Look at that. That's an awful lot of trail to cover. But with dogs and stuff, they're good. Does anybody have any other thoughts on this? It's a real, I hope they find her. Just say a prayer for her and her family, and I'll keep y'all updated on it. You know what I'm going to do for next week? I found a very interesting case where It's a very tragic case where it's a homicide. But the trial, throughout the trial, there are timestamps where she was abducted. She was taken to an ATM, and I have timestamps. Taken to another ATM, timestamps. And I thought, I'm going to go through this case. We know how it ended. We know there was a trial, but I want to see how close the astrology matches up to the timestamps and where she was found eventually. And I thought that would be an interesting case to look at the chart and to try to spot some of the clues. And that's how I learn as well, is to go through older cases that we know the outcome. Unfortunately, this was a very Ohio State college student. It's very horrible outcome, but we have excellent timestamps because we've got her on the ATM camera. He was wearing an ankle monitor. They have timestamps. Ankle monitors have timestamps. So they have timestamps when he was as well. It's all documented with the trial. And I thought that would be an interesting show, that we could go through the case and these exact timestamps to have tracked them. So that's interesting. I'm going to do that next week. I thought that would be an interesting thing to look at. Here we go with Miss Guthrie. This is interesting as well. And this came out this week. Is now, I don't know if you've watched Jennifer Coffindaffer. She has a YouTube channel. She's true crime. She's a former FBI agent. She's really good. She has a good channel. So there was DNA evidence. If you all recall, the Sheriff Nanos had some evidence that was sent to the lab down in Florida that he contracts, as opposed to giving it over to the FBI. And he said it was contracted. Okay. Well, now the FBI is being handed over the evidence that the lab in Florida had. Now, Jennifer said, what good's it going to do for the Guthrie family to be upset by the nature of how the DNA evidence was investigated? Well, what's done is done. This was a very reputable lab in Florida. So, the DNA evidence that the FBI has may take months now. And it was apparently there was DNA evidence, and they collected a hair sample. So we're waiting on that. And let's just see. Hopefully the FBI will speed things up. They know this. So let's just keep our fingers crossed that what the FBI was given from the lab will give us some answers for Miss Guthrie. I sure hope so. You know, I wonder if they've gotten a private eye to come in on this case yet. That's what we never hear anything from the family either, do we, on Miss Guthrie's case? It's kind of weird. Now, also, we covered the case of the missing UFO experts and NASA experts a couple weeks ago, about 4 weeks ago. We did rule out some people that had been unalived that we thought, well, I don't think they're in on this or not. They now have gotten this up to 11 people, right? 11 people. I thought this was interesting because this little diagram shows you the connection. Remember, we had Chavez. He just disappeared. Melissa, we went over her case. They worked at Los Alamos. Of course, the general, Monica, and Carl Grillmar. Now, that was the scientist that was, he was unalived on his front porch, but that was with somebody that had been kind of around the neighborhood, robbery. But they're on top of this. The FBI is now looking into this. So hopefully we'll get some answers and see what's going on with this case. And then again, I don't know if y'all knew, our friend Miss Sue was on Ryan and Rhonda's show last night, Numerology with Susan. So if you didn't catch their show last night at 9 p.m., I was working on a chart and it got late. I'm going to watch it at work on my lunch tomorrow. So we all love Miss Sue. She is the queen of, if you like numerology and y'all have never listened to Sue, you would get a big treat out of her expertise with numerology. She's phenomenal. So that's Riff Nation Network, freaking awesome paranormal show. Miss Sue, isn't that a great picture of Sue? I love that picture of her. So check that show out. And I didn't know, Keith said David Wilcock is now added to that list as of yesterday. He apparently, when the police, now I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know who this guy is. I guess he was a YouTuber, but he was also a scientist. But all indications are that he unalived himself when the police got there. That it was, I guess, was done in front of the police. I don't know. It's still under investigation. But I think when the police got there, I could be 100% wrong on that, Keith, that he was alive. And that had been going through some issues. I don't know. I know he was a scientist. He was another scientist. So yeah, add him. But I don't know if he unalived himself or not. We'll have to wait and see on that investigation too. I didn't know who he was until I saw it on Facebook, actually, that he was a creator and had a YouTube channel about UFOs and stuff. So we have to keep an eye on him too. It's crazy out there, folks. It's just crazy. It's really weird. So do y'all have anything else you want to add to the show? I hope y'all enjoyed that. You know, it's just that's a mystery. I like to get the word out on people that hopefully somebody in the Oakland area is listening and they can look on their Ring cameras, even if it's one person that, hey, I need to look on my cameras. We've done some good for the family and the missing of Miss Amy, and hopefully she'll be back. Let's hope that she just needed some time away. Hey, being a caretaker is very stressful. I get it. I get it. We all enjoy your week. You've only got today's 22nd. We have the 25th. We've got Uranus going into Gemini. That is, I think it's a very exciting transit. I think it's great. 7.5 years. But it's going to be a big shift. It's a big energy shift where things will speed up and everybody will know it. But it's a good thing. All of the transits this year are at the end of all the chaos is very, very positive. Just know that. It might not seem so because it's confusion. It's change. It's things are being shaken up to be better. So at the end of this, probably 2029, it will be great. We'll come out of this very, very well. Very well. I do too, Miss Cindy. I do too. Thank you. I hope something comes up in the videos or photos for Amy. I'll keep an eye out on it. I'll keep watching it. And gosh, we'll all say our prayers for the family and hope, you know, it's awful to miss a loved one. You know, it's great in her community. It's just such a shame. So we'll keep our eyes open and I'll keep an eye on it and see. And if I get any more updates on Nancy with JLR or anything else that's going on, true crime, I'll bring it to you. Nothing else. Miss Hooker was not found from the Bahamas yet. A lot of people are saying, hypothetically, I don't know. They're saying, did she even, get on the boat? Who knows? They're just, how that goes, where everybody start pointing fingers without the real evidence, So we'll see. But you guys have a great week. Don't forget that change is coming this weekend. It's a big shift, so be kind to yourself. Be kind to everybody else. They're going through a lot of these shifts as well. Everybody's going through this shifting stuff, y'all. It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh, you're welcome, Miss Lois. All of my cancers, hang in there. You're getting squared. So you're almost out of the woods, Cancer. You're getting there, but it's good. This is good energy. Okay. Someone saw Brian Hooker by himself with a dry bag by their photo of sunset. But did they both maybe have dry bags? Did they, did he have a dry bag and she have a dry bag? There's a lot of, apparently there's a lot of stories out there that just a lot of confusion from that evening. What time they left, what time they got there, alcohol and boating in a little dinghy never get along. They just don't get along. So, but the bartender said that he only served him 2 drinks. The bartender said he only served him 2 drinks. But they were at a bar prior to that bar too. So we just nobody really knows. It's crazy. He said she always carried it. Yeah. Did he have a dry bag with him too? It's very strange. I think they're going to put a lot of the electronics evidence together because there's a ton of electronic evidence with her disappearance. And I think they'll find it there. Donna hasn't been in the chat lately, but this is prime search and rescue search season for them, getting into the spring. So that's something to ask her about with the search and rescue in the ocean. Is very, very tough searching for people that are in the ocean. I know it's tough. So, and that area, there are sharks in the Bahamas. Bull sharks. There's big sharks in the Bahamas. So it was very shallow water. Who knows? It's crazy. They're going to find out on that one too. That one we're going to find out. So y'all, thank you guys for tuning in. And remember to have a great week. Be kind to yourself. You only got a couple of weeks left, and we're skating through May and June. So just hang in there with this. It's good energy. Get projects started. Get things done. It's good energy. Just don't wear yourself out too much. So if you're tired, go to bed. Just go sleep. So have a great week, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks a million for tuning in. Thanks a million, everybody. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Thanks, y'all. Good night.